think we're live. Maybe we're live. Hi guys, it's April and I just wanted to hop on here and just do a quick Q&A and thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I don't even know what I'm doing. For 10,000 subscribers. But before I start that, I should probably tweet this out so that you guys actually know about this. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself because I'm cool like that. Let's see. This is the really boring part. I never know what to do during the live streams when I'm like, here, let me tweet this out real quick. Oh, and Nissa is going to join us if she can figure out how to get out of the window. Okay, I think I've tweeted out, so we're all good. I'm going to wait a little while for people to start showing up. And do you need help, Kat? Do you need help? Yeah. Just don't click anything. Yeah. Hi, welcome. You are the first to comment. You get the gold prize of being my favorite fan right now. My favorite person. So I put out on Twitter and here on YouTube and on Instagram, I asked you guys for questions that you guys have been wanting me to answer or just you randomly came up with, whatever floats your boat. I'm going to answer those here. So I have a list of some of them. But of course, if you guys have questions that you want to turn around and ask me in the stream, that's fine. We'll do that too. I'm open to that. But I suppose we've got one dog here and we've got one cat. It's a party. I don't know why I decided to do this now, but I just did. Oh, thank you. We've got people showing up in the chat. Let's see. I am still sort of getting used to this. Thank you, Helen. See, I can click and drag things. It's all fancy. I kind of like it. Okay. So I will probably wait a couple more minutes. Probably just 2 or so to see if anybody else wants to show up. We'll just get the ambiance of the animals. Currently, what can I talk about as we're waiting? Currently, I am reading Cinder with Shay over at Shay Geeks Out and Lindsay, doing a buddy read for that, and Steve over at the Lawn Gnome. It's a reread for me, and I'm really, really enjoying getting back into it. It's been about 5 years since I've read it. I've only read it, the series, through once, so it's interesting going back and seeing some of those details. And I am also, what else am I reading? Sound of the Stars, which comes out on Tuesday. I'm a couple pages into that one so far, a couple chapters in. And it's got a very interesting premise. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still forming opinions, but I'm probably going to have a review on that coming this Tuesday. Otherwise, how is everybody's day going? I hope they're going well. What are you reading? What are you doing? Welcome. I'm always awkward in these live streams because I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. Especially when it's actually at my face and not on what I'm coloring. Sometimes it's nice not to have your face in viewport, but you know, it's something new. Okay. And I guess why we're waiting, if for all of you in the chat, if you have any questions, feel free to start putting them in the chat and then I will get to them at some point. This might be a quick stream. This might be a long stream. It depends on how chatty I end up being and how chatty you guys end up being and what all we decide. I suppose, since it is now about 4 p.m. Central, I can start with the first question. And this one was asking about all of the shelter animals and working at the shelter and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. How did I pick the pets I have, and do I have any stories from the shelter? So the collection of the nakeds. That all kind of started out with I about 10 years ago, I got my first Sphinx, my first hairless cat. Her name was Alethea. I got her because we were living in an apartment at the time and they only allowed cats, and I have a severe cat allergy. So I was looking for a way to have a pet that I wasn't allergic to, and I stumbled across the Sphinx breed. And there was a couple breeders near me, so I seriously contemplated it for about several months, and then I'm like, I'm doing this. I've never owned a cat before. This is going to be a new experience, and it's a hairless cat. So that's something completely new. So that's how I ended up with Alethea. And then several years later, I thought she needed a companion. So I ended up with Nissa. Unfortunately, Alethea had some health conditions and passed away. And I didn't want Nissa to be alone. So that's how Fia happened. But then as time went on, I'm like, oh, I want to have guinea pigs again. I don't know why. I was really allergic to guinea pigs. And I decided that why not? Why not try and see if I'm not as allergic to hairless guinea pigs? And so I got the Grimms. I got Jacob and Wilhelm. Unfortunately, I am still allergic to them. So I probably won't get any more guinea pigs in the future, except for I did get Charlotte at the Humane Society that I work at. I saw her and I couldn't say no, and I'm like, I already have experience taking care of guinea pigs. I already have 2. What's a third one? And so I probably, if they show up at the shelter, I'll probably continue to adopt them just because they need homes and I can't say no. I have a problem. That is one of the issues with working at a animal shelter is you see all the animals and you can't say no, and goodness gracious, that's just something that happens. And after I got married, my husband and I, we always talked about having dogs at some point. And so I started looking at hairless dog rescues, mainly because it kind of fit in with all of the animals that I take care of already. And that is how Albus and Gillyweed joined our family. And that's kind of where I'm going to cap it for now, because taking care of 7 animals, is a lot of work. And especially trying to make sure that they all get along and they're all well fed and they've got medical expenses and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of where I'm probably going to cap it a lot. But they bring lots of joy and I love them to death. I think so. I've been working at the animal shelter for probably about 9 years now. Yeah, probably about 9 years. And I kind of just stumbled into being the photographer for them, something that just happened. And so I have done thousands and thousands of different animals, taking their pictures. And so over the years, I think we do this event called Santa Paws. And so we have people come in and they get pictures with their pets and Santa, and I think some of my favorite stories come from taking pictures with Santa and these animals. We've had pigs. Just this past year we had a snake, and of course oh, the joys of having dogs. I apologize if that went into anybody's ear. I tried to mute the mic in time. I don't know if I hit it correctly, but I apologize. The dog next door came out. My dogs are very protective, which is one thing about the Sholo breed is that they're alarm dogs. So they can get that. But what was I talking about? I was talking about the Santa Paws events. But we had a snake this past year, and Santa is deathly afraid of snakes. So he had to try and hold this snake make sure it was sort of looking at the camera and not crawl up his sleeve. So that was great fun. I have a lot of stories about Santa and those animals. Santa's gotten bit. Santa's gotten peed on. A lot of the animals are terrified of Santa for whatever reason, and those are probably some of my favorite stories, because while working at the shelter and dealing with the adoptable animals, it's hard because you want to take them all home with you, but I can't financially support that, so it's not something that I can do. And I take their pictures so that they can get adopted out quicker, and that's always my goal. There is one, her name is Baby Girl. She is a pit bull mixed, and she's been there for nearly 3 years now. And every time I walk past her, I want to take her home with me, but unfortunately, she's one of those that has to have a home that's completely just dedicated to her. She can't interact with any other animals, so we can't do that. But yeah, I don't... That's some of my shelter life, and that's how the nakeds happened and are a thing, I suppose. Well, we got lots more people showing up in the chat. Hi, everyone, and thank you for the congratulations. I'm playing with this kneaded eraser right now, so if that's kind of what I have in my hand. Okay, so let's go to some of the questions in the chat. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Oh, this one's a fun one. Okay, was I an avid reader as a child, or was reading something that I became interested in as an adult? So this is actually a really weird story. So when I was younger, I actually couldn't read. I struggled with reading. I think some of it is I have a little bit of dyslexia. And so reading never came easy to me. It was something I really, really struggled with. I hated reading so much, but it was about second grade or so. I had this reading teacher that she made it make sense to me. And from that point on, it wasn't something that I disliked. And then my parents picked up on that, and they're readers themselves, and so they've always wanted to instill this reading. They've always read to us. So they implemented the system that for my grades, depending on what they were, I would get so many books. So if I got A's, I would get 2-3 books. If I got B's, it was 1 or 2 books. And if I got anything below that, I wouldn't get any books. So that got me really excited about picking up new books. And then, of course, over the summer, they started implementing this penny per page policy because they wanted me to read over the summer. And so it became my goal to get as much money as possible over the summer by reading. And by the end of the summer, I had a couple $100, and I was very proud of myself. It was a problem. As I grew older, my parents stopped doing that because it wasn't good for their bank account. So it was probably more in my teens, my early teens, that I really got into reading, and I started growing my own library and that kind of thing. And then there was a while there after I graduated college and I was figuring out how to be an adult, I suppose, that reading slagged off for me for a little bit. But then I found BookTube, and now I am a very crazy reader who reads anything and everything that I come across, and it's kind of ridiculous. So that's kind of my story as being a reader, I suppose. That was a good question. I like that. What else do we have? Dun, dun, dun. We've got... got this one right here. So the series of unfortunate events video is actually one of my more popular videos for various different reasons. It's very decisive and other things like that. But I if I had read that series when I was younger, I think I would have really, really loved that series. It's just as an adult, there's some things in it that I'm like, but I still really enjoyed it. And I love the fact that that is how you found me and you stuck around. So thank you. I appreciate that so much. And it looks like you are a reader and a writer, which is amazing. I hope someday that I can read some of your work. Okay. See. Got more people. Welcome to everyone that I haven't greeted yet. And I think we can do another question. Okay, what is my favorite book to color in and what is my least favorite? Okay, so right now I'd have to say that my favorite book to color in, the one that I'm drawn to right now is, of course, the Disney coloring book, because I am in this kick where I want to like emulate styles, so trying to get the color combinations to match, and the fact that there is the Kincaid painting on the one side and then there's the coloring page on the other side, that's kind of what I'm excited about right now. I'm gonna do this on Sunday for my normal live stream, so if you want to hang out with me as I attempt to color more of that, that's kind of where I'm at right now. As for my least favorite, so I only buy things that I know I'm going to enjoy coloring in, so I don't really have any of that here. But I like overly detailed coloring pages. So some of the more simplistic mandala style coloring books are not something that I enjoy doing, or those color by numbers. I do have a few of those up on my channel just for simply review purposes, but they aren't something that I like making decisions, and I like making things overly complicated, I suppose. I don't know. So the more complicated a coloring page is, the more I am likely to color in it and enjoy it. So I'm not huge into a lot of big shapes. I like the Joseph Kattenbang and the Kirby Rosan style coloring books. Okay, and then we have, okay. What is my favorite video I've made, and what I feel is underrated and underwatched? Okay, this is a tricky question. My favorite video I made. Oh, okay, I'm cataloging 5 years of videos in my brain that I can't. It would. I definitely like my more DIY crafty style videos. There's something about being hands-on. Don't get me wrong, I love sitting and talking about books, and if I can bring the talking about books in with the craftiness, I really enjoy doing that, which is why I really love the fact that my Book Rose video is actually the one that has kicked off this weird subscriber growth that I have. But I think my favorite video of all time, there's a couple of them. Actually, there's 3 of them. So I have one video up that's how to read with cats, which I did several years ago, which is just plain hilarious. It's me explaining my life with cats and how reading with them is not the easiest thing in the world. And getting both Fia and Nissa to participate in that video was the hardest thing ever, but I kind of enjoyed how it turned out. I also have a ugly Christmas sweater cat edition where I show off all of their Christmas sweaters, which is fun. And then a couple years ago, I think it is, or maybe it was last year, it was a year ago or something, that I did a Naked's book recommendation video where I'm like, okay, these are my pets' personalities. What books would you recommend for them? And then you guys had responses to that on what they should read. I enjoyed that so much. So I think I love bringing the animals into the channel as well. And those are some of my most favorite videos, but they're as hard as heck to do because of course they don't always like participating in what I want them to do. As you can tell by Gilly back there just sitting there whining. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to yes, Tara. Complicated like the crystal videos. Those the crystal page. If you guys haven't seen me color in Kirby's crystal picture, it took me over a year to do. I did it all on live stream. It was extremely complicated. I am currently in the middle of attempting to edit the speed color of that. I've only condensed it down to an hour and a half. And that is because I had 30 hours of footage that I needed to condense down. And I'm still playing with that. It's not to where I want. But someday that will be up on my channel. Hopefully. Maybe. Okay. Oh, I completely forgot about that vlog. The vlog with all of the animals in it. Like I said, I've backed away from vlogs simply because I feel like I'm repeating a lot of what I've already shown in the past. And so I'm like, well, do people actually want to see this again or not? But yeah, just showing the animals in the daily routine sometime. Are you okay? Are you okay, baby boy? Sometimes maybe I'll do a video of just like the day in the life of a naked animal mom. Just a random one-off video. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, let's see. I think this one is next. Okay, so is there a certain color pen that I'm always drawn to that I want to use in every picture? The answer to this is very much yes. I love the color fuchsia. Fuchsia is one of my favorite colors. Fuchsia, sometimes magenta. I always want to find a way to bring bright pink into a picture. It's the first color I grab in any medium if I'm trying out a medium that I've never used before. I will try their pink and see if it's something that I will end up liking in the end, because if they don't have a good pink, then they're not worth it. I don't know. There's something about the color fuchsia. I love it. I love it so much. And I love the fact, Carrie, that your daughter was asking some questions too. So which coloring book am I planning on buying next? And do I have a favorite coloring book? I have actually got a couple coloring books that are on pre-order right now, and I've got one on the way. So the one on the way, Sakuum has a new coloring book out. I think it's Dark Fairies or Dark Characters. It's over on Etsy, and I love Sakuum's. I've only ever colored in one of her pictures, and it's the one that has the ombre blue to green hair. But I love the way that she draws characters, and so she just released a new coloring book, so that one is on its way to me. I've also pre-ordered Kirby Rosan's next coloring book that comes out next month. I think it's Worlds Within Worlds or something about worlds. I pre-ordered it in October, so I honestly don't remember. But there are also 2 more coloring books that are coming out in mythographic. Unfortunately, they're not by Joseph Kattenbong. They're by a completely different artist. I have pre-ordered them. I'm hoping I like them. We will find out. But those are the coloring books that will be entering my life in the future. And as for my favorite coloring book, I think right now that's probably Succulent Dragons. I love this one. This is by Stephanie Law. I backed her on Kickstarter, which is where this one came through. But I mean, it's just dragons and succulents, and the fact that it's got some of the pages. First of all, the quality of paper in this thing is amazing. But also the fact that some of the line work, they've got different levels of line work. I really like that. I like that a lot. I've only done a few of the, I don't know if you can see that, a few of the, the side pages in this one. Because I'm a little terrified of trying to do some of the more in-depth things. Let's see if I can find another one. Ooh, I like this one. This one's nice and red and bold. Ooh, I can't get that in focus. Huh, there we go. Kind of, sort of. Huh. But yeah, that's probably my current favorite coloring book. The sun is starting to come through my window, so let's let's do it so you guys can't see me. Okay. Be realistic here, camera. Be realistic. That's what you get for joining my live stream. You get technical things that just go haywire. Let's see. Hello, Sabrina. I'm good. How are you? I just felt like throwing that up on the screen just because, I can. Why not? Okay, next question is, when did I start getting my fur babies? I guess I kind of answered this in the first question when I was talking about the whole history of the nakeds. My first Sphinx, my first hairless cat, I got in 2010. Her name was Alethea, and she is the one who opened my life up to the hairless animals. And I very much thank her for that. Unfortunately, she was only with me for about a little under 3 years, which is hard to think about sometimes, but she's still one of my favorites. And I miss her a lot. But she just opened this whole realm of pet ownership to me that I'm very much thankful for. So, yeah, that's kind of, I don't know what else to say there. I'm just gonna be awkward now. You're welcome. Okay, so then we have, ooh, my foot's asleep. Sorry guys, gotta shift. One of my most positive memories over the last few years being on YouTube. I think, this is going to sound cheesy, especially since she's in the chat right now. I think probably the most positive thing for the past 5 years is the fact that I actually got to meet Shay over BookNet Fest, which I didn't ever think I was going to be brave enough to go to something like that. And the fact that I stepped out and decided to join the world and actually interact with people. And oh my gosh, my foot is so asleep right now. Ow, it's almost painful. Okay. The joys of getting old. It's fine. But that is one of my most positive memories, is actually meeting Shay in person. There's also a lot of collaborations that I've really enjoyed doing. There was a March Madness style collaboration where I got to pick a character that I wanted people to vote for, and that was really fun. Of course, there's this whole book club that I'm now a part of, which is really great, and I did a live show with Steve at one point that was really fun, and just getting in and having like lengthy discussions. I think some of my most favorite and positive memories about all of this is when I actually get to do these interactions with people in the community, and I like them, because as much fun as it is to sit and talk at a camera and edit and make everything fancy, I like when I get feedback and interact with you guys. So I'm trying I'm trying to make that more of a thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or if it's helpful. I did a poll on my last TBR and people actually responded to that, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm trying to be more community driven, I think. So, yeah. Okay. Ooh. If I had to choose between coloring for a year or reading and I can only pick one, that is freaking mean. That's all I gotta say. That is unkind. Ooh. Okay, if I had okay. To be honest, it probably isn't much of a choice. I will always and forever choose reading. I love reading. Reading is the thing that I really enjoy doing, even though I was doing art. I was drawing up plans and making pictures long before I was ever reading, and it would be extremely hard to do my job if I okay. Now I just got made that more complicated because I kind of need coloring to do my job. Oh, good grief. Can I color picture books? I want to have them both. Because I came into this question thinking that I thought I was going to choose reading, but the more I sit here and I ramble about the fact that I color at work because I have to design things, that's just what I do, and the fact that I was coloring with crayons and markers and colored pencils long before I ever got into reading. It's one of those things that I didn't really get into coloring books until about 4 years ago, and I started BookTube like 5 years ago. I don't know. Oh, I mean, there's just something nice about. I guess they both kind of create an escape, but reading is more of a passive escape than coloring is. Coloring, I still have to engage some decisions and choices, unless you're doing a choose your own adventure style book. I don't think I actually answered the question. Reading or coloring? I was gonna choose reading, but now I like color in my life. I might have to choose coloring. As bad as that sounds, can I still have somebody come and tell me stories? I mean, it doesn't have to be from a book. You can just make up stories. And I guess I still have movies and TV shows that can get me that like adventure fix. So I'm gonna oh, this is bad. Yeah, it's gonna be coloring. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What do we have next? What is my favorite manga? This is going to come as no surprise to some people, but especially since I just bought it and I'm super excited about it, and that is Girl from the Other Side. This is a complete surprise love for me. There's something about this series, the fact that it is so like bizarre and weird and odd and dark. It has a very fairy tale like feel to it. So this is my current obsession. I'm excited about the next volume coming out next month. It is a thing that has been pre-ordered and is going to be on the way to my doorstep because I need this in my life. I need it. I got really weird there. These are some of the things that I end up cutting out of videos, is the weird voices that I end up doing or the random sounds that end up coming out of my mouth because I'm awkward. There's a reason that I spend most of my time reading and coloring and staying inside my house. It's because this. Ooh, too many things on the screen at once. Okay. Oh yeah, I love I love when I get comments. I'm still at the stage with my channel that I'm not overwhelmed with comments. So when I get comments in, my first gut instinct is to respond in some way, just to say, "Hey, yeah, I see you. I see you, and I love what you say." Just the fact that you're willing to have some kind of dialogue with me. That is great, and I appreciate it no matter what video or how old the video is. So it's just the fact that you're watching and you're willing to deal with all of this. Yeah, I appreciate it, and I thank all of you for that. Okay, and then we have, I put this one into Google Translate, and if I remember correctly, I think it's asking, let's see if I can bring up the Google translated thing that I saved, so I knew what I was talking about. It's how did I reach the whole 10,000 mark? And I hated when I was on other people's videos and they were talking about, their subscriber growth, and the thing that would come out of their mouth is it was just pure dumb luck. I hated hearing that because I am a person who is very much work driven, and I like seeing payoff from my hard work and how all of that is connected, and there had to be a way that hard work would end up in a payoff of people would see that and get excited about that and hang out with me. But no, nope, their answer is pretty much true, and it's pretty much pure dumb luck. Hated that response from anybody I have ever heard, seen, or talked to about it. And honestly, it's the truth. The only reason that I think I hit this milestone, and I guess it's not even the only reason I know I hit this milestone is my Book Rose video went mini viral. And every once in a while it hits that mini virality again, and YouTube starts recommending it to people, and it just takes off for a little while. And I love that people are finding that video so helpful. It doesn't mean that I'm awesome in any way. It's just I did a really good DIY video, and I still get mean comments on that video, which you'd find surprising because, hey, it's just me explaining how to make these paper roses, but the internet will find ways to tell you that you're wrong about something. But yeah, it was literally that video that just something about that video. I don't know how, I don't know why. I know that people have tweeted about it several times. I know it's got several pins on Pinterest. It's a video that has a long life, I think, is pretty much why that happened. So yeah. So I don't know. I think that's all of the questions. Excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze at you right now. That is, been here for about a half hour. Pretty proud of me. That's all the questions that I got from Twitter and YouTube. And I've answered a couple questions that you guys have had on stream, which thank you guys for, chatting with me, and thank you for all of the congratulations. Honestly, it's not something I did. It's something that you guys did. Just the fact that you're willing to be here. I love that. I love that so much. I don't know. Do you guys have any more questions for me? Or any kinds of videos that you want to see from this space? I do. There will be more videos about the building of the library that I hinted at when I first moved into this house. We are choosing a contractor. That is something that's happening. So that is probably going to start moving forward. And then I'm going to have a new library office space, and I'm going to have to organize that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of videos about all of that. What is coming soon to my channel? Oh goodness. I have a couple reviews that is coming my way. Like I said, this Sunday I want to get back into this one right here. I want to color. I want to get as close to finish with this page. I really want to get this page. I don't know if you guys, it's sun's starting to set and coming in my window. But yeah, so that's, I'm hoping to get done soon. I do have this speed creation of the Cinder book cover that I did last weekend. That's going to be coming to my channel. Of course, February releases that are coming out. I do have plans, of course, to do the whole rest of the Lunar Chronicles series. I don't have my list of ideas. I have a wandering list that I just, every time I get an idea. There was there was a point in time where I contemplated decorating a Polaroid camera. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might. It's still a possibility. I don't know if you guys would like to see that or not. But I do, before too long, I do want to get a new art camera. As much as the web camera that I have has worked, I'm just not happy with the quality of that. So I'm hoping to get a used mirrorless camera that I can use for my overhead shots at some point in the future, maybe. I'm hoping to have better control on that, and so that you can get better detail. Let's see. And then what kind of content do I most like to watch? Right. Okay, so should I tell you about the content that I like in the book community and the art community, or should I tell you what I have been binge watching on YouTube recently? And if you want to honestly know right now the kinds of videos that I'm watching, I'm getting into couponing. I know, that's super exciting. So I've been watching a lot of extreme couponing and a lot of large family meal saving kind of ideas and meal prepping and pantry stocking and freezer stocking and all that kind of stuff. Why? I don't know, because I find it fascinating. It's something that I think is fun. I do now officially have my own coupon binder. So that's a thing. I don't know. So those are a lot of the videos in my feed, is a lot of food prepping and a lot of couponing. But oh golly geez, why am I gonna sneeze? But a lot of the book style videos that I am enjoying watching right now is a lot more of the reviews and the new releases. I do enjoy a lot of Books and Lala's monthly challenges that she does. They're not something that I think I could ever bring myself to do, because that's terrifying to record over that length of time and not lose the footage. But just seeing her sit and talk about books as she's reading it, so I guess it's more of those reading vlog videos that I find fascinating if it's about a book that I have some interest in. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like reviews. If it's over a book that I'm already sort of interested in or I'm trying to decide about, then I'll watch the review or the reading blog. But I don't know. Think some of those are kind of what I'm thinking about. DIY videos. I do want to do more DIY videos. They are something that I'm slowly thinking about. I have thought about doing some more paper folding style videos with book pages, like doing paper cranes or paper stars or things like that. I do have a few food videos on my channel, but I haven't really thought of any like food type things that I want to do or other folding things. So it's like I want to do DIYs. There's just nothing that's jumped out at me that I really want to DIY. Does that make sense? Okay, so I would love to do that. Are we talking about the old school rainbow colored Macs, which I think is what you're hitting at? Because I mean, I have several old Macs. I've got an old iMac and I've got a couple old Mac laptops. But if I'm thinking what you're thinking, and what we talked about the other day is one of the old school colored Max that brings back lots of childhood memories. Ooh, that'd be fun if I could like get a hold of one of them and somehow turned it into like a mini library. You know, that you like see on the side of the roads and things like that. But more inside my own house. That could be fun. I mean, those things have those old Macs have started getting really expensive to get your whole hands on. But I might be able to find maybe a shell of one on eBay. That might be possible. That could be fun. Simple tips on how you can make your coloring better. So just generic overall, since I don't necessarily know what your coloring is like at present, the biggest thing, at least in my opinion, that you can do for your coloring is to be bold with your colors and find color palettes that work together. So a lot of times I go into a page and I will choose the range of colors that go together before I even start the page so that I know that the page will be cohesive, but then not being afraid to really put that color on the page. Because a lot of times when I see other people's pictures, they don't saturate the page with color. And so it looks really soft and pastel. And if that's what you're going for, go for it. But if you want something to feel solid, if you want something that feels intentional, really put that color down there, which is why I love markers, because you can't be light-handed with markers. With colored pencils, you can definitely not put down as much pigment, and so you have some of those realms where the color choices and everything else could be really good, but if you're not really powerful with those colors, then sometimes it weakens it a little bit. But I also say if you're willing to start playing around with blending can really elevate your picture, doing not just one solid color and being willing to try different shades throughout one block. I say go for it. That's just my quick assessment of you should try this. I mean, if you really want to push forward, I don't know. How am I saying this? I think if you're afraid to put bold colors down or you're afraid to blend out, what's really great is you can put down a marker base on the page and you can do flat color of marker and then come back with colored pencils and start adding that shading or those different color contrasts, and that will, it's amazing what can happen very quickly with just doing that. And I think yes, we were talking about the colored bags. I assumed that's what you were talking about. Um, and yeah, the schools, except for those colored Macs, they are 25 years old at this point. I don't know a lot of schools that would still have those ones in or sitting around. I'm guessing they've probably gotten rid of them at some point. At least a lot of the schools that I know of probably don't have them sitting around anymore. And a lot of them are probably because those computers wouldn't support the new Mac OS, so I'm guessing they just kind of checked them, that they're sitting somewhere on eBay or in a secondhand shop somewhere. So yeah, maybe that'll be in my future. Playing with an old Mac. And I'm okay with that. Okay, so we are almost at 5 o'clock. If you guys have any more quick questions, otherwise I will let you guys get on with your Fridays and whatever you plan on doing and reading and coloring or just chilling with, I suppose. I've got a TV stand that I have to try and put together, so that'll be fun. You will notice in the future that the background of my videos has changed slightly. I have switched around where all of my bookcases are located because I'm just that way and I'm always changing things. So yeah. If you want help doing that, there are a couple. I mean, I'd look up color palettes online. You can go to Pinterest and just type in like color palettes, or you can just go to Google and type in color palettes. And there are a lot of websites and a lot of color palette pickers that'll help you. Just if you have one color in mind, it'll help you choose like the complementary colors or the triad colors that will go with that, which I recommend starting there and then limiting your color palette that way. So you have like only like 4 or 5 or 6 colors that you're working with. That'll greatly help you. And then you can move within the tones of those colors, but not necessarily outside of those colors. That's what I recommend. Okay, well, I think I am going to wrap up the live stream here. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with me and the fact that you subscribe to this channel. You guys are freaking amazing and some of my favorite people on the planet. I can't thank you enough for supporting me for all these years or for all these days or all these weeks or all these minutes, however long that you have been here. I appreciate every single one of you. And of course, as always, I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.